the great J.J. Watt once said, maybe we're just effing better.
Banner going up at Mullett Arena.
We're just effing better.
They were just better.
Do the Arizona Coyotes own the Toronto Maple Leafs?
This is getting to be almost ridiculous, isn't it?
I mean, first of all,
honestly,
let's cheers. We got our Four Peaks beer.
Oh, I can't.
The rebuild is on hold for tonight. Screw it. Cheers.
Cheers. Beat the Leafs again.
Wow.
Seriously, this team comes in as the number 3 team in the National Hockey League. Marner, Matthews, Nylander all come in with point streaks that ended, and the Yotes win again. It's honestly, it's comical. The Yotes win again.
Petey, Auston Matthews was -4 tonight.
-4.
Mitch Marner was -2 tonight. William Nylander was -4 tonight. Michael Bunting was -3 tonight.
Whoops.
John Tavares was -2 tonight. I'm not done. Morgan Riley was -3 tonight. And freaking Nick Bjugstad, Barrett Hayton, Jack McBain. I'm sure everybody in Toronto are
all plus
familiar with those guys.
Yeah, for sure. You
all
just got beat.
All multi-point nights.
Just got beat by Bjugstad, McBain, and Hayton.
Hey, to be fair, McBain was a Canadian Olympian, so they probably know who he is.
And Barrett Hayton did wear the Canadian sweater as well, so they probably do know him.
But still. It's
unbelievable. But again, this is like, there's a couple things. One, the Mullett magic is real. That's three straight wins at the Mullett, and good teams: LA Kings, Colorado Avalanche, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. We looked at the calendar and said they're not going to get a point. They won all 3. So look for the number 4 in Tampa and beat 2 Stanley Cup back-to-back champions. Might as well. Got Colorado, got Tampa, got Toronto. This is unreal. And somebody pointed this out. Closer to a playoff spot officially today than they are from the basement. 9 points from the playoffs, 11 points from the basement.
That is, I don't want to talk about that.
I know, and here's the frustrating part. You see Connor Bedard at the World Juniors, and you start going, "Oh, wait a minute, what's the plan here?" But
no,
it's Toronto.
It's Toronto.
But we said this at the beginning of the year. These are the wins you want. You want to be Toronto. Toronto will take the Toronto win, and the Mullett, fire,
rockin', absolutely rockin'. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chats from Vaguely Sober, our new friend from DNVR. Deja Vu on the score, good games on the dub, PHNX Bros. Thank you so much.
Can you believe he's got to jump over to the PHNX show for wins? Like, what? What? It's unheard of. I swear I can't believe we're talking about this again.
I'm just like, I don't even... Like, I had so much to say coming into this, and I just don't even have the words.
And if you haven't heard the Toronto episode from yesterday, I think it's even more meaningful today.
I think so, too. And by the way, shout out to the Toronto Maple Leafs fans who found our bingo card on the PHNX Coyotes Twitter. They were big mad. Big mad, and they were proving our point exactly. They literally proved our point.
By hating the card, they proved the point.
They really did.
Of the card.
Super chat from Charles Woodall Pike,
CWP.
1967. Thank you so much. Oh my God, did you know? $19.67 super chat. That was very smooth,
clever
Charles.
For any Toronto Maple
Come
Leaf fan
home,
in the building.
Austin. Come home, Austin.
You can't beat them.
Join them.
Just saying.
That's what we said last
Somebody
time.
said.
That's what we said earlier when the Coyotes beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2 in Toronto, where the Coyotes have not lost in regulation since October 17th, 2002, just in case you needed a reminder. And here's another fun one that Elliot Friedman tweeted out today.
Wow.
This is Toronto versus Arizona in the 2022 calendar year. Ready? January 10th. 2-1 Coyotes. March 15th, 5-4 Coyotes. October 17th, 4-2 Coyotes. December 29th, 6-3 Coyotes.
2022. 4 times this calendar year, they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. 4 times. I don't know, because I'm just going to say it because I don't have to back anything up with facts or statistics. I'd be curious to see how many teams beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4 times in this calendar year, and I bet it ain't many.
Yeah. I mean, this is not like the Toronto Maple Leafs of 6 years ago. This is the Toronto Maple Leafs that are a cup contending team that have some of the highest odds coming into this season. They're what are they in the league? Third in points in the league?
They're third in the point. It's unreal. It's a good hockey team.
Yeah, third in points with 50, only behind Carolina and Boston. And today we were at the game. We were standing by the place where the players walk. You can see them through the glass. And I'm just watching them walk. It's like Nylander, Tavares, Matthews. And you're thinking, oh my God, like there's so much star power on this team. And then I just sat there and read all their minuses from tonight. Something about...
I don't know what it is.
Something about Toronto. Just like the Boston Bruins own the Coyotes.
Yes.
It's the reverse. But it just feels so good. And you know why it feels good. We talked all about it yesterday on the audio show, Trolling Toronto. That's all the reasons it feels good. All the angry Maple Leafs fans in our mentions today and yesterday. This is why it feels good. Because the Coyotes have beat you more times in 2022 than you've won first rounds in the last 15 years.
Again, literally speechless. And somebody brought it up in the chat. This is the Arizona Coyotes are openly, publicly tanking. They're trying to lose.
That's what Nicholas said. Poverty franchise. Yes. How do you go 0-4 against a team openly tanking?
Nicholas, you've nailed it. This team is trying to lose, and the other team is trying to win a Stanley Cup. And you lost to them 4 times. But you can go right to the opening faceoff of tonight's game. 2 Leafs fall over each other. Nick Bjugstad walks in all alone under a minute into the game, and it's 1-0 Yotes, and you go, oh shit, it's going to happen again. You just felt it. Oh my God. End of the first period, they're getting pummeled. By shots were 13-2 Toronto all over. We go, gosh, maybe this could end up being ugly, but no. Same pattern the Coyotes have had this season. The first period, they start off slow, they struggle, they just have to keep it close, and they get better as the game goes on, and that's exactly what happened again tonight. So the shots became more even as the game went on.
Yep. And
Arizona just hung around it, and they just hung around it. If not for those power plays for Toronto in the first period, who knows how it would have if it would have changed the tide. But I tell you what, it's one of those teams you want to beat. It's like you want to beat LA, which they did.
Yep.
And you want to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep. You do.
I don't care what anybody else says right now. I don't care. This 2022-23 season is a victory again because they swept the Leafs for the second consecutive year. It's a win.
And listen,
a lot
of people online, giving the Coyotes shit. Listen, we know all the issues this team has gone through. We know that they're openly tanking. But sometimes when you're covering a team that's in 27th place, when you're covering a team that finished 31st last season, you need to celebrate the small victories. And this is one of those nights, and we are having a blast. And, listen, we're not Scotiabank Arena. We don't have Stanley Cup banners dating back to 1967 hanging in the rafters.
True.
But we have our own banners. And let's officially hang this one.
Wow.
Season sweep of the Toronto Maple Leafs 2022, or you could even say the calendar year sweep
2022
of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So
I saw that they were actually raising that.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it as we left. So that is now hanging in the rafters at Mullett Arena for all of us to enjoy.
Wow. I was kidding as I walked in, and I talked to some people that I knew there, and I was saying, well, so what do you think? And I said, I think the Coyotes are going to beat them. I said, I think the Coyotes are going to win tonight. And they just have to keep playing the way they keep playing. Toronto's going to come in here with their high-flying, passing, and active, and they're going to blow it. And the Coyotes are going to win. And all they needed to do, same thing they've had to do all this entire season, is Vejmelka has to come up big in the first period. He needs to make a couple of key big saves, which he did, to hang around and keep them in it. And then, just like it happens with all these teams that have high-powered offenses, they get frustrated. And when they get frustrated, they start making plays that they don't normally make. And that's exactly what happened to Toronto. They were starting to grab their sticks a little bit tighter, and they kept looking at the clock going, okay, we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
It's Arizona. We're going to win. And they kept thinking, oh, it's going to come. It's going to come. Even when they pulled the goalie, I think they thought they had a chance.
Yeah.
Because they always say, oh, it's just, they're going to go in. This is the Coyotes.
Yeah.
And you keep thinking, the other thing, Leah, don't they know they lose to this team? So you got to come in going, okay, today's the day. We're going to be ready to go. We're going to be at our absolute best because we're tired of losing to the Arizona Coyotes for the last 20 years. Like, buddy, like, fire up, get up for this game. You'd think it would be like, okay, we're going to kick the shit out of them tonight. And they just didn't.
I think a big point, and you and I were there and we looked at each other and said in the first period, if they get out of this first period 2-1, like, they can hang in, because Toronto completely owned after the Bjugstad goal. They completely owned the first period. They outshot the Coyotes 13-2. They score 2 power play goals in that period. Connor Timmins has assists on both. You're thinking, oh God, here comes the Connor Timmins revenge game. Like, it could have been really, really bad. The fact that they got out of that period only down 1, and then you come back in the second, and and first of all, McBain like sets the tone immediately by dropping not only dropping the gloves, but beelining for Hunt, dropping the gloves and just beating. They got in a fight. That was wild. And then Jacob Chikrin scores on the power play, and all of a sudden, like, you got yourselves a game. And I know Toronto scored again a few minutes later, but a 1-goal game, we've seen this team come back from worse this year. And I think, sure, they're winning a lot and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to talk about how this affects the standings. We're not going to talk about that tonight. Not today. But, like, never count this team out. Never count them out. And maybe that's the mistake Toronto made tonight, that they counted them out, because on paper, Toronto is a way better team. It's
exactly what you said. This team, and that's the difference between this season's Coyote team and last season's Coyote team, is they didn't have the ability to come back. Once they were down, they were done. If they got behind in the first, it was over. They just didn't have the firepower. They didn't have the offense. They didn't have the team speed. I tell you what, there's something about this team, and I keep going to the coaching staff and Andre Tournier. He's got this team believing, and they believe they have a chance. And I'm going to have a broken record, so you just might watch one of our old episodes, because same thing. It's somebody different every night.
Yeah.
In the last game, Schmaltz, we were talking about Mary Schmaltzmas. Tonight, it's somebody different. Tonight, it's McBain. And that's what makes this team special, is because somebody different every night pulls the weight of this team. And tonight, it was McBain and Bjugstad, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know where he's from, but
yeah.
And that's where he started. Bjugstad set the tone. Who are we kidding? A minute into the game, and he gets that goal. That set the tone for the game tonight. And you know what? Sadly, that was the only shot for the first 17 minutes of the game. One shot. I looked up at the clock. It was 12-1, and it was a 1-1 game. You're like, what?
I know.
Insane.
It's the Coyotes' way. It's the
money line. Tim, we talked about the money line before. Take the money line on the Coyotes against Toronto.
Rick won $300.
Buddy, there you go.
This is what we've been saying. That should have been the pick of the week, for real.
It should have been.
My pick of the week did hit. It did hit the over in Canada, Austria. Cash it. But yeah, just wow. Like, I just keep coming back to the fact that I am speechless. By the way, there are almost 100 of you here. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button on this video.
Yeah, please. Is that a good thing?
It's a really good thing. It helps us out a lot. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you being here. We see your comments in the chat. The chat is flying. We love it. We're celebrating. We're all celebrating this win together. Let's talk a little bit more about these individual performances that you alluded to. Nick Bjugstad, his 8th goal of the season in those first minutes. He also had an assist tonight as well. Huge night for him. You got Barrett Hayton, who in the final seconds of this game added a couple points. The empty net goal, an assist on McBain's empty net goal. He had another assist as well. So 3-point night for Barrett Hayton, somebody who's really, been lacking in the scoring department. And then JJ Mosier had a big night. Lawson Krause continues to be productive. That pass was unbelievable to McBain. So who do you want to start with?
A lot of those points, we'll say those things. And you talked about McBain and Bjugstad, both of them in the faceoff circle. Bjugstad's 58%. McBain is 67% in the face-off circle, so they were good on that side of the puck, which helped them possess the puck more finally as the game went on. Offensively, they were all around it and all over it. They were physical in the game tonight, but there's little plays like when Patrick Nemeth blocks a 2-on, a pass in front of the net that's going to be an easy tap in the back door, and Nemeth blocks the pass. It's those little plays that this team, everybody does what they're supposed to do, and everybody does those little details, and you win by doing the little things right more often than the other team. And the Coyotes need to play pretty much mistake-free hockey.
Yeah.
They just do. We talk about their talent level, their skill level. They need to play mistake-free. And that's one of the things I thought when you look at today's game, even though they are outshot 13-2. Clearly, it was lopsided in the first period, but they didn't break. They didn't do those stupid turnovers through the middle of the ice like they normally do.
They didn't get frustrated either.
Yeah, so I think those guys that you mentioned were great. And even when you look at Schmaltz and Keller, who I don't think were at their best tonight. I don't think they were guys that carried the plate tonight. Well, somebody else did.
Yeah.
And somebody else took over for them.
And that's depth.
And Saturday, maybe them. Maybe it's Keller back on the top. The other guy I want to mention, too, is we didn't talk much about Jacob Chychrun. Because I mentioned it when we were watching the game, and that first period, he looked tentative. He looked nervous. Yeah. He made a couple of mistakes. He plays that he doesn't normally make. And I wonder if the Canadian media, and he knows Toronto's looking at him. And we rumored all the time, hey, he might be going to Toronto. And it's rumor. So he was grabbing a stick extra tight. But as the game went on, he started to go, okay, well, that's a really good defensive play. And then he gets the goal, and you go, okay, that's the Jacob Chychrun. So again, this team just takes a little bit longer to get going. And the same thing happened again tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. Power play goal for Jacob Chychrun, his 4th of the season. Amazing, right in place on Nick Ritchie's shot, the rebound there. So good night for him, and good night with the Canadian media eyes on him as well. That's what you want. Continue to boost his trade value. We haven't even gone into. We've just been so carried. We haven't even done all the things that we normally do. So let's look at the numbers, because there is something on here that's actually really fun. Besides the final score, of course, 6-3. Petey, not only were the shots 33-23, which in the end didn't end up being so bad based on what we had been seeing.
Pretty typical Coyote game.
Okay, let's ignore the fact that Toronto was 100% on the power play. Coyotes were 2 for 3 on their power play.
Wow.
Howdy.
Boy, howdy. And we talk about how important the power play is on every game.
Yeah.
And the Coyotes have struggled. Who are we kidding? They started off one of the top teams in the league on the power play, and they've struggled because they didn't get pucks to the net. Well, tonight they do, and it's all you got to do is get pucks to the net. JJ Mosier's huge goal, and Chychrun's rebound's a huge goal. But we're going to keep referring to while we were at the game, because we were actually at the game tonight. Toronto, their first 2 power plays were right after TV timeouts. So not only you watch all of their top players go to the bench and get a 90-second breather, get a rest, the people come out with the shovels and clean the ice. You go, oh shit, they're going to start with clean ice and everybody's rested. So both of their goals were right after a TV timeout where they all got rested, and it didn't take them long to operate. And that was important, that the Coyotes did not take dumb penalties after that.
Yeah,
you really saw their ability.
Because that was another thing, and how I mentioned before about getting out of that first period only down by 1. That was another thing. Like, they took 2 penalties in that first, and you said if they keep taking penalties, Toronto's going to score every time. Like, it's Matthews, it's Marner, it's Nylander. Like that's firepower.
Well, they run 5 forwards on that first power play.
Yeah, like you don't want to see them. So that made me nervous. But like you said, like things kind of tended to move along and kind of settled down. And I felt like the Coyotes, the magic at the Mullett is real.
It is real. Well, and we've said Vegas got all those home wins because guess what? Vegas, you can get the Vegas flu. You were in Vegas. There's stuff to do in Vegas.
Yep.
Guess what? There's stuff to do when you stay overnight in Tempe, and some of these teams are staying in resorts in Scottsdale. You don't think they're might be getting a little bit of the Scottsdale flu? It's a real thing. I'm telling you. This Mullett magic is real, and the Yotes are what now? 7-3-2?
7-3-2 at Mullett Arena.
At home. 4 games of 5 above 500, and that's playing the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Colorado Avalanche and the LA Kings in this last week. That's absolutely incredible. And again, we're not talking about the tank tonight. We are going to talk about a team that plays together and is fun to watch. And I don't care if you get a chance to see a game at the Mullett, go. Like, we could almost reach out and touch these superstars, and we were in the last row.
We heard too. We walked in, and Sean right away heard a Toronto Maple Leafs fan look around and say, "Wow, this is so cool. We're so close to the ice."
And I mean, you talk about being close to people. The scratch Toronto Maple Leafs walked. Wayne Simmons walked brush shoulders with me, basically.
Right by them. And Vince Vaughn, we saw a couple comments about Vince Vaughn. We're literally standing there like Vince Vaughn just walks in the door, like on the lower concourse.
Yep. Just hanging out. Just hang out. And that's the other thing. If you know, like you go to a sporting event, you go, oh, I'll meet you at the game. There's no chance you're going to meet. You go to the Scotiabank, you're not going to meet anybody. You can't. Here, literally, you see everyone you know at the Mullett because it's so small. Yeah. You're walking around the concourse, you see everybody. Yeah, with Vince Vaughn, we saw him walk into the building today. Yep. Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs extras. Oh, yeah, they walked right by us because you have to. There's nowhere else to go. It's insane. The atmosphere there is absolutely fantastic. The music is so loud. And
loud.
Yeah, like an old person like me is saying maybe a touch too loud, but it's okay. But the environment's incredible. And I will say this, totally digressing. There was a little Coyote fan in front of us.
Oh, my God.
What, 2 years old?
If that.
If that. We had the Kachina jersey. You had a Kachina hat. Yes. Like that's the next generation of Coyotes fans. They're going to start at that age, and that's how we're going to get over all the Detroit and Chicago and Toronto jerseys is that. And it was absolutely amazing that a kid like that got to see a game like that.
It's funny because I don't know if you noticed this, but at one point Toronto had the puck and they like shot or something, and the kids started getting a little excited, and the dad was like, no. Wrong team.
That's it. And that's what this team needs. This town needs. They need that kind of environment, that kind of fire. And I think that's what's going to happen in Tempe. So I was really excited to see that.
Absolutely. Well, wow. Craig is already calling in. But before we bring him in, we got to crown tonight's DraftKings.
We haven't done
King
anything
of the game. I know we're so behind because it's just too exciting. So let's go ahead and throw it on the screen. Our DraftKings King of the game, of course. Jack, 1 assist away from a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Wow.
2 goals, a fight. Almost had it. But he was impactful in all areas of that.
He's a college kid, and guess what you don't do in college? You don't fight. And I tell you what, he's impressed me with his physicality. He's impressed me with his ability to stick up for his teammates. And tonight he stuck up for himself. That was a cheap shot by Dryden Hunt. I don't care. That's a penalty. The referee could have stopped that fight easily by just calling the penalty on Dryden Hunt. It's a boarding call. Make the call, and you don't need the fight. But since the ref didn't call it, McBain took the law into his own hands, and he tracked Hunt down the ice, and Hunt said, okay, let's go. Absolutely thoroughly impressed with Jack McBain tonight. He has been a physical force above what I expected him to be this season.
Absolutely. So, I mean, man, Jack McBain, what a night for him. On the flip side, Auston Matthews, no points tonight. -4. If you had bet the under on Auston Matthews' points tonight, you would have won yourself some money on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And we already saw a ton of comments about people betting Coyotes money line at Super Plus Money, winning $300, for example. So absolutely unbelievable. If you also won money out betting on the Coyotes tonight, let us know in the comments. We love to hear it. And if you want to win yourself some money, you can do so on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up with that promo code PHNX. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code PHNX only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. There were a lot of Leafs fans in the crowd tonight. We heard the goalies go chants. So for all those Leafs fans who find themselves in Arizona feeling dejected, maybe need to take the edge off, try some OGs. Try some OGs gummies. Go to your local dispensary. If you're 21, get yourself some OGs. I promise you'll feel a lot better after that, because rough one for you guys tonight, but you'll love OGs. They got amazing flavors like orange creamsicle, pina colada, sleep edition gummy if you need help getting to sleep tonight. So check out OGs. Like I said, find them at your local dispensary. Must be 21 or older to enjoy. And oh my God, the chat, there's so much going on. Sean is scrolling fervorously to find the super chat from Mark. So that said, GMBA has done an amazing job building this team. Seriously, this team is not far from being a playoff contender. Depending on the moves, they can make it next year.
I'm not going to argue. If they can keep Veggie and you could get Dylan Guenther another year under his belt and whoever the draft pick is, they're closer than you might think. I know I kept saying that this is the draft they want to get at the bottom of the barrel for, so they can get one of these top franchise players, and then they're going to go the other direction. Yeah. Fantilli, Bedard.
Anywho,
so we'll see.
Well, thank you so much for the super chat, Mark. And I think it's time to bring in.
Here he is,
the man, the myth, the legend.
Man, the myth, the legend. Oh, a little bit of a.
Hey, got the glow again.
You got
the glow. The
Look at
glow is back. Just like people are
Yeah.
complaining about the glare on the ice on TV, it is confirmed only on TV
Only on
because
TV.
in person I don't notice it at all.
And now I've got a new theory.
No.
It might be Craig. It might be
Craig's fault?
Craig's personality. No, it might be his personality lights up the ice. Like it's only on that side of the ice and you only see it on TV. Look at the glare he brings. It could be his personality just getting that glow off of the ice. No? Maybe? No. Never mind.
Not feeling that. No. Following up, I listened to you guys talking about Jack McBain. Aside from the hit from Dryden Hunt, well, it wasn't even a hit. It was a penalty, and it should have been called. And we said it at the time. That definitely motivated him. He talked about it. He was angry about that. You know what else was going on in the stands tonight? Guess who plays ASU
Boston
tomorrow night?
College.
Boston College. Guess
Yes.
where Jack McBain went to school? He went to Boston College. Boston College was in the stands, so a little extra motivation.
Nice.
For Jack
I
McBain to show
totally
up,
forgot
right?
about that part
cool.
too. That's awesome.
Pretty cool story for him. Yeah. He was impressive. I agree with you, Petey. I've been really impressed with what he's brought. I know at the beginning of the season, when people looked at the battle between Jack McBain and Nathan Smith, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Nathan Smith's going to be on this team," and I was just like, "I don't see it." Jack McBain slots into that role perfectly, and he's in his first season, really. I know we got a cup of coffee last year, but to be able to watch this kid grow into this role, I already like a lot of parts of his game. He's really well suited, and man, there was a lot of size on that line. I know Bill Armstrong loves him some size, but they can throw it around. The Coyotes have some big players on this team.
And he's somebody that you're going to have in the future. I mean, that's exactly the prototypical player that he wants. Gets to the net, you can add offense. He's physical enough that he can separate guys from the puck. And guess what? He can drop the gloves and fight, too. It's exactly what you want in a Bill Armstrong team. And I tell you what, he's fun to watch. And teammates love him because he does exactly what he did tonight. And that's stick up for them and himself. This kid's impressed me. And I know there were some knocks on his skating ability coming in to the season. I don't see it. Like
I don't either.
I don't
think
know.
skating's an issue.
Yeah, it's not an issue in his game right now, and he's only going to get better. And when this rebuild, we're through the tunnel in a few years, boy howdy, he's going to be a part of it. You know, and I don't know where he slots in or where he fits on a team running for a playoffs, but if you got him just slotted at number 3, that's okay. If he's a 3 center at his size and strength, great.
Yeah, because you're going to need some size. Obviously, there's some smaller guys on this team too. When Logan Cooley comes in, you've got Nick Schmaltz, you've got Clayton Keller, you got Matthias Michelli. You're going to need some size in that top 9, and he can certainly bring it. Maybe Connor Geekie comes along. We'll see how some of these guys develop. We'll see what they get in this draft. Although that continues to drop as they win and win and win at Mullett Arena. Not tonight, right? Not tonight, Leah.
Not tonight.
Okay.
Not tonight.
We won't talk about it tonight. In fact, I already thought of a New Year's resolution, but I'm not going to mention it until our show on New Year's.
It's not New
Eve.
Year's.
But that's what I just said, buddy.
You were too busy slamming your beer.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you talk about teammates loving Jack McBain. You know who else they love? He's a guy from Minnesota, Nick Bjugstad. I'm going to write about him for Monday, in fact, but we got him after the game tonight too. And how about the first goal? He said it felt like the seas parted, like 2 Maple Leafs collide with each other. And
I know, that was
all
hilarious. Wow.
Yeah, I tell you what, and I had an opportunity to bump into GM Bill Armstrong tonight, and he said virtually the same thing about a guy like Nick Bjugstad, what he does to that room and kind of an attitude he brings to this team. And it's just, he brings that positivity and he does what you ask of him. He jumps over the boards, he goes, works hard. And that's why I know we jest a lot about where he's from, but boy, he does do the little things right, and he does it for the right reasons, and he's a fun player to watch.
Absolutely.
And we saw Christopher.
Yeah,
Canfield.
so Christopher commented here tonight, great seeing the whole PHNX crew at the game. What a win. We tried to get the Come Home Austin chant going a couple times. We did see Christopher in the concourse.
We saw a lot of
We saw
PHNXers.
Dale.
Yeah.
We saw
some
a ton of
PHNXers.
people. So
It was fun.
Great to see all those people. Petey, Craig's at every game. Petey and I try to, choose a select few. We got to make the trek back downtown, but it was a lot of fun in the building tonight. A lot of great energy. There were a lot of Leafs fans, but it didn't feel like the Coyotes fans didn't have their say. Like, it was great energy in the building.
I agree.
For sure.
Yeah. Was it Chris that posted I can't even remember who it was that posted in the Discord. I was talking to him tonight. somebody got like a box cutter into Mullett Arena
Yeah.
tonight, like a razor blade. So like hey, there've been a couple fights here, and now maybe you get shivved when you're walking through the concourses.
Whoa.
By the way,
Mullett's turned into a dangerous place.
Just a quick side note, the three of us leaving tonight, we were like, oh yeah, we'll go this way. We got completely trapped in the players parking lot because we thought there would be a way out, and there wasn't.
No. We worked on our steps. We got our steps up. We just toured the lot.
We're like, nobody stopped us and told us that wasn't the way to go.
I don't know how many security guards we passed to get to that area, and nobody said, hey, there's no way out, or you can't go there. No, just let us.
So we just went for a stroll. Craig, who else stood out to you tonight? Obviously, we had the Mosier power play goal, the Chychrun power play goal. I mean, multiple point nights for multiple guys. Any other standouts for you tonight?
I know everybody's looking at production, but I like what I'm seeing from Barrett Hayton lately. I think he's coming along, and I know Andre agrees with this. He thought the last game was Barrett Hayton's best game of the season. He had some chances. He got some power play time too, and helped set up that goal that we were talking about. So it's nice to see a little progress from him. Obviously, you want to see some more. You want to see him be a little more productive. He's going to be in a top 9 role, but there's some parts of Barrett Hayton's game to like, and he's not a guy who's going to cheat it or feel get down on himself or stop playing hard. He's going to bring it. He's committed to it. So hopefully he can get something going here.
Yeah. Well, a few more points tonight. The points are starting to come for him. He just plays the same way every night, and the points will come eventually. I know he was extremely frustrated when we talked to him a week ago. He's starting to put up some points. He got his first goal since then, so I think that's starting to help.
Even getting like an empty netter.
Yeah,
tonight,
it does.
That helps.
100%, because they don't ask how, they say how many, and they're starting to come.
Look at Ovechkin.
Was there ever a chance tonight after the game that you thought Chychrun might just grab his bag and go down to the other end of the hallway and join his new team? No.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on that. But with Barrett Hayton, I seem to remember that we might be featuring him in some way.
We might be. We'll see. Okay. There may be another episode of Walking and Talking coming soon. Stay tuned.
Okay.
I also want to say one more thing about Barrett Hayton. Not only did he have all the points that he had tonight, and his game is picking up pace, he was getting into it tonight. Like, there was little
physicality again.
Yeah, like little scrums, and he was like, Sean and I were saying, is that McBain? No, it's Hayton. Like right in there. So that was another great thing to see from him.
Well, this team, Bill doesn't want to get pushed around. And it's been something that's lacked on this team for a very long time. They haven't been able to have that pushback. They've had tough guys before, and you've got the guy that can drop the gloves, but you don't have that team toughness where you can be physically tough in the corners and along the wall. I mean, you've had the guy that could drop the gloves and fight throughout time here. John Scott, Paul Bissonnette, George Larocque. You've had that long list, but you haven't had a team that could team tough and team physical that can hit and skate. And I think that's the direction Bill Armstrong wants to be able to go. He wants to be able to be physical along the wall and be tough. And I think that McBain and even Barrett Hayton, we said that tonight, helps add a little bit of that. So
yeah,
it is guys sticking up for each other. That shows you've got a team, and that's what this is right now. It's everybody on the same page.
I know we're going to talk a little World Juniors and Liam Kirk in a moment, but how much faith do you have that the team we just watched tonight can actually make a playoff run, Toronto?
You know what? It's the same problems you talk about with Toronto year after year after year. It's their ability to score is their ability to defend. And I've watched Matt Murray this season. It's playing some of his best hockey since he's left Pittsburgh. He struggled in his last year in Pittsburgh. He struggled in Ottawa. He's playing better, and Matt Murray is playing better, but these are games good teams win, and good teams find a way to win. And you have to win the games you're supposed to win when you're supposed to be vying for a Stanley Cup. And I'm just not sure this team has it. I don't know. Look at John Tavares has got the guys, their veteran leadership. I don't know. Giordano is another guy they brought in to bring that veteran leadership. That's the part I don't know if they have. They got all those guys in their mid-20s that are their high-skilled star players, and I don't know if they've got that gritty guys that pulls them through the war, and I don't know if they've got that. So I'm not sure, Craig. On paper, it's a hell of a hockey team. But guess what? They don't play on paper. They play on ice. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to do it.
It's I don't know. That you're talking about that I see too. Like, where is it? I don't see it. Maybe they can make it add it at the deadline, but it doesn't feel like they have that ingredient right now. And then when you look at their path to making a deep playoff run,
it's hard.
Good luck with that.
And listen,
good luck in that division.
Austin might look around and realize that and say, "Toodaloo, off to my hometown, Arizona."
There it is. Are we getting back to trolling Toronto?
Yeah, but don't laugh. We said this yesterday, and I said if you didn't watch the Toronto trolling show, go watch it because say what you want to about Auston Matthews, but he's not staying there forever if they're not winning. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying he's coming to Arizona, but there are other locations. He can go play. Everybody's going to give him a pile of money. So it's not a foregone conclusion. Tom Brady finished somewhere else. Wayne Gretzky finished somewhere else. So
I just get amused by the people who are like, well, Toronto has everything he wants. They haven't been out of the first round in nearly 2 decades.
You know who has?
Like, I'm getting chirped by like Leafs fans tonight after saying the Coyotes still own the Leafs. They're like, well, they're not going anywhere. I just responded to one person. First round.
Yeah.
First
you know who has been out of the first round in the last 10 years?
Yep.
The Arizona Coyotes.
True story.
The towel. I love it.
True story.
Craig, let's talk a little World Juniors just while this is the hype train show and we're hyped about some of the Coyotes prospects, and one of those, of course, is Dylan Guenther. First of all, I would like to formally thank the Vancouver Canucks for trading their first-round pick and giving us Dylan Guenther because he had a goal in the game today. He had a hat trick last night. He's having himself a heck of a World Junior so far for Team Canada.
Yeah, how do you like that combo of Connor Bedard and Dylan Guenther?
Don't remind me on this winning post-game show.
Please? Hey, you can always win the lottery. I'm just
True.
Saying. If you're the 5th or 6th worst team, you still have decent odds.
True.
Maybe it could happen. I mean, it happens for the Blackhawks. They get to jump up and get Patrick Kane.
Bedard,
so why can't it happen for the Coyotes?
Guenther from Bedard, like that is. I hear that in my dreams, and we heard it last night.
Yeah, but since we're pumping the Arizona tires today, there's a lot more Arizona connections than Dylan Guenther.
Yeah.
And we talked about Cutter Gauthier making a pass to Boucher, both born where? Arizona.
That's right.
And who else assisted on that goal? Logan Cooley. So it was Boucher from Gauthier and Cooley.
I think Red Savage had a...
Red Savage.
He did.
Does it get more Arizona than that? Poverty my ass.
You guys brought all this up because I am going to have a story related to all that tomorrow, talking about how much Arizona hockey has grown. And Cutter Gauthier could have been in town tomorrow with Boston College, to play ASU, but instead, where is he? Oh, he's in the World Juniors because he's that good.
Yeah. So, and I know, and we can name the handful of Arizona kids that are doing that. I get it. In Minnesota and Michigan and Massachusetts and Ontario, and I get it. But this is the trend. This is where kids are like, it's real now. It's not just you have the one-off. Oh, Auston Matthews. No, there's more. Like Matty Nyes he grew up here. Like they're coming. Red Savage played youth hockey here. That little boy
in front of us.
That little boy could be the next pick.
Just saying. Just saying. Hub City Productions in the chat said, watch Logan Cooley today live. What a player. That is also what we felt watching him when Minnesota came to visit as well. He had a goal and an assist in today's game, which is good for him because I think he hadn't scored a goal before today, correct? In the tournament.
Yeah. And you talked about Logan Cooley coming on to with his performance in this last game. Petey, you said you talked to Bill, and I know Bill was, Logan had a little bit of a slow start in this tournament, and they're like, okay, what's going on here? Well, sometimes that happens when you go into an international competition. And I've also heard that there may be some sickness blowing through Team USA right now that they're dealing with as well. But he turned it on today, and really, listen. Just get to the crossover, right, in World Juniors. That's all you're trying to do in pool play. Hopefully you get a good draw, and that's when the real games begin.
And if you haven't watched any of it, tune in.
It's so good.
It is truly the best hockey tournament in the world because it's best on best at that age before the money gets involved, before all of the, the stuff with your NHL teams and all of it, and your agents. And no, this is kids playing hockey for the right reason.
And it's the best if you just go back and look up any World Junior team for just pull up a random year and look at the World Junior team. Yeah. it's NHL player after NHL player.
Yep.
So it's kind of like your first look at them. And especially, for a team like the Coyotes who have 5 prospects in this tournament, it's a great way. Julian Lutz, like, where am I watching him play otherwise except for, in this tournament, for example. So it's a great way to see prospects. It's a great way, we're getting our look at Bedard and Fantilli. So it's a great tournament. It's on NHL Network for those of you in the U.S. So definitely check it out. It's been a lot of fun so far. Craig, we got a question, and it really doesn't have anything to do with this game or the World Juniors, but there was a little bit of confusion yesterday with a call-up. Yeah. It came out as a transaction that the Arizona Coyotes recalled Liam Kirk from the ECHL, but it was more of a move to loan him to. Can you just explain what the heck was going on while you're here?
Yeah, I don't know why the wording of that news release was worded as it was from the Atlanta Gladiators, saying that he was recalled to Arizona, which made a lot of people in the UK and some Coyotes fans think, oh my God, he's coming to the Coyotes. Is he going to play? Like, this just doesn't happen from the ECHL, guys. You don't get recalled from the ECHL and jump into the NHL lineup. It's not going to happen. So what is happening with Liam Kirk is they brought him back to Tucson to collect his belongings. They're loaning him to Ugarit in the Finnish Liga so that he can go play the rest of the season. Look, nobody's going to say this to me, but the ECHL is a tough league to bounce around in, right? It's not exactly a glamorous league. It's not the AHL, and I'm not sure that it's a great league for development. So when you get a chance to go play in the Finnish Liga instead, that's better, in my opinion. That's a better league. So he's going to get an opportunity. They had a need up front. There were actually several teams that had inquired about him. So he's going to get a chance to go play there. Oddly enough, Petey, for Alle Jokinen, who was his coach over there, used to play for the Coyotes. I just think it's a better situation for Liam Kirk. And I know there are a lot of people who are like, oh, he's never coming back. Like, how do you know that? Like, have you had a conversation with the management? Everything that I've heard, what I heard from John Ferguson Jr. was that he's definitely coming back to Tucson next year. They just think this is a good development opportunity for him. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, we talked about his development path, Craig, and we knew it was a big leap for him coming across the North American hockey when we played in Tucson. This is okay. Everything's fine. Did we see Liam Kirk being an everyday fixture for the Arizona Coyotes at that time? No. We just thought, hey, here's a kid playing pro hockey. Good for him. I don't worry. Everything's fine, and it's part of the development path to get him back here. I think everything will be fine for Liam Kirk.
Well, then he had the ACL injury too, right? So he lost so much development time with the ACL that's obviously going to impact you. So listen, he's a 7th round pick. We knew all along he was a long shot, a British hockey player. Then you have the ACL thrown in. It's a tough path. It's a really tough path, but we don't know yet. Again, he was always going to be a long shot, but we don't really have a sense of what Liam Kirk can be because of the lost development time. So at least he's getting this opportunity, and look, at least he gets to be a little closer to home. It's a little more of a comfort than, being in Atlanta and bouncing around the South and the other ECHL cities that you see.
I want to give a shout out to Liam Kirk, the first ever guest on PHNX Coyotes.
Right, that's right.
True story.
So literally our second ever show.
Was it?
Yep.
Our second ever show?
Literally our second ever show. Huh. So if you want to go back and watch that, you definitely can. Craig, what a game tonight. What a night. What a stretch here. We'll get back into the rebuild in the tank later, because let's just enjoy this one. Any other final notes from you on tonight as a whole, or any other just news or notes from you?
No, just that Andre Tourigny gave the boys the day off again tomorrow. They're going to go straight to plane and fly out on their road trip. They were scheduled to practice, so they canceled it because they don't need to practice, because the Coyotes just win games.
Because they're just goated.
It's going to be hard, because if you go straight to the plane tomorrow and it's a 5:00 Eastern game on Saturday, they might not hit the ice till they're going game to game now. That's bougie right there. You're going game to game.
Yeah, it's like player's dream, right?
Exactly. So walking and talking might be held off for a few more days, because they're not there. We can't do it. Can't walk and talk with nobody there, unless you want to go, Craig. Me and you'll go. No,
I don't think anybody wants to see that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
All right, Craig. Well, we'll let you go, and we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, guys. I'll see you on New Year's Eve.
Yes, can't wait. All right. Well, we had a blast being at the game tonight. We
We
really
did.
did. We really, really did. And if you missed out, don't worry. There's plenty. The Coyotes are finally home a bit more. They're home a lot in the month of January. If you haven't been out to Mullett Arena yet, or if you have and you realize how fun it was, head on over to Game Time. ASU hockey is back this weekend. Like Craig mentioned, Boston College is around. All those tickets, you can find them all on Game Time. The best place to buy tickets for sure. You can save up to 60%, especially when you buy those tickets last minute. So if you're on the fence, check Game Time, buy them there. And as always, the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link below in our description. So scroll down, click that link to buy your tickets. I've used Game Time myself. It's so easy to use. It is literally so easy. And I'm an anxious planning person, but I felt fine waiting because I knew, I just knew they would be cheaper, and they absolutely were. And PD, right now, we're enjoying our Four Peaks beer. I'm drinking my favorite peach, and you're drinking your favorite Kilt Lifter.
Yep, go to.
Absolutely unreal. So
Fire.
Cheers to anybody,
Four Peaks.
whether you're drinking beer, water, hot chocolate, coffee, whatever you're drinking. Cheers. But we love Four Peaks. This felt like
we really do love Four Peaks.
We really do. This felt like an occasion to break out the Four Peaks for sure. And as I've been saying all week, Austin, just remember, you can golf year round here.
True
you
story.
can golf year round here in Arizona. And if he wasn't on the Toronto Maple Leafs, I would invite him to our PHNX tea party on January 13th. But I don't think he'll be around then. But for the rest of you, you're definitely invited to the PHNX Tea Party presented by our friends over at Four Peaks. This is going to be a super, super fun event. We are renting out the entire driving range at Dobson Ranch Golf Course, and Big Drive Energy will be there. They're the golf podcast over at DNVR. The PHNX crew and all the fellow diehards will be there for a night of golf, food, drinks, contests, prizes, and more. The PHNX Suns crew will be hosting a watch party for Suns versus Timberwolves. Four Peaks will be there too with beer samples and swag. Check the link in the description to reserve your spot right now. And for our diehards, check Discord for your special link where you'll save 20% on this awesome event. You really do get a discount for being a diehard. It's $45 a person, $36 if you're a diehard, $160 for a foursome, $120 if you're a diehard. There's also a kids clinic, so bring your kids. That's free. There's going to be a lot of fun little competitions, I think it's a half-court shot competition. Wow. Just a ton of fun stuff going on. There's going to be heaters, hot chocolate. It's just going to be a blast. So come on down to that Dobson Ranch Golf Course, January 13th. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Did you see David's comment?
I didn't. Let's read it. As much as I'm disappointed with the effort of my hometown Leafs versus the Yotes, I unreservedly congratulate Vejmelka and his teammates on a well-deserved win over the Leafs. David, that might be the most diplomatic comment I've ever heard from a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
Wasn't as diplomatic?
Yeah, take a lesson, Josh.
Josh was not as diplomatic.
You guys play in a gymnasium. Pipe the F down, please. Put some respect on the Maple Leafs. You know what, Josh? Respectfully, no.
I feel, and what's the saying? Doesn't respect have to be earned?
Buddy, they lost to the Coyotes 4 times in the calendar year. 4 times.
95% Leafs fans in your gymnasium tonight.
That's
that's
also objectively not true.
That is literally false.
Yeah,
that is literally false.
But again, scoreboard. It again, if this team had won 3 consecutive Stanley Cups and they come in and smoked them 5-1.
Rick said it. 16
since 2005.
I don't know how old Josh is, but I genuinely am curious how many times in his life he has witnessed the Leafs beat the Coyotes, because I promise you it's less than he's witnessed the Yotes beat the Leafs.
But again,
Sean, show the banner again. Oh, yeah. Show the banner again. Bring up the banner.
But there it is. But again, we said this before. People hate the Patriots because the Patriots win, right? So if the Toronto Maple Leafs come in here and roll the Coyotes 10-1, Josh, you are absolutely 100%. But they don't. And it's not just once. It's not just twice. It is year after year. Since 2002, they have never beat them in Toronto, their home building, the mecca of hockey in the universe, and they have not beat the Arizona Coyotes in Toronto since 2002. Not last week, 2002.
You know what happened on October 17th, 2002 also?
I do.
Matthew Nyes was born.
Matthew Nyes was born. So, no, I get it. If you don't like it, then beat us.
Josh, we appreciate you
we do.
tuning in and commenting and, giving us some engagement on our show. We really
I do too.
We really do. Josh, thank you so much.
I do, Josh.
Thank you for your comments.
Thanks. And it is a great city. I
actually do. I'm literally from Toronto.
She's from there. And when we talked about the show yesterday, we both didn't get an opportunity to say what a wonderful city it is. I love Toronto.
I mean, it's my home.
It's a fantastic city.
But I'm still gonna dunk on the Leafs.
I don't always love the traffic, especially when it's snowing.
Traffic is bad. The traffic is
when
very
it's snowing,
bad.
it's worse. But it's a fantastic city.
Is a pain.
Love the city.
Yeah, it's my home. I was born there. There was a picture of me in a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey as under 1 year old. It's so
there you go.
But listen, we got to take the wins where we can.
Yeah, take the little wins.
And I mentioned we weren't going to talk about the standings tonight. All I'll mention is that San Jose is currently winning against Philadelphia.
There you go.
I mean, Philadelphia needs to lose too, needs to win too, but you can't have it all. Maybe that one can go to OT.
Rick, the Mecca's Montreal. I got to say, I was an Evan Cornway and Guy Lafleur fan. Steve Shutt, Larry Robinson, Ken Dryden was my favorite goalie. Neither of you know who any of those guys are. Guy Lafleur,
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
I had an Evan Cornway sweater, like a legit sweater. It wasn't a jersey, it was a sweater. Okay, sorry.
Okay, that's a good little aside there.
Sorry.
Well, the funny thing is, we always pull up the upcoming schedule and we think, where can the Coyotes get one win on this? And now something strange is happening. It's like, where are the Coyotes going to lose? Because look at next Thursday and Friday against Philly and Chicago, two of the worst teams in the league this year. And you got Tampa Bay on Saturday, who were back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. You know who else was the defending Stanley Cup champion? The Colorado Avalanche. You know who else the Coyotes beat this week? The Colorado Avalanche. And look at the scores on there. 6-3, 6-3.
Again, tennis scores. 6-3, 6-3.
It's unreal.
Yep.
It's unreal.
I will say this, because we talk about DraftKings Sportsbook app. I don't know if Saturday is going to be the one where they're going to continue the win streak. I am moderately worried in Tampa.
And that's fine.
No practice, flight, East Coast time. I don't think this bodes well for the Yotes.
David is
He's out here spitting facts.
David is a legend. David is, wow, what I wish all Leafs fans could be. And thank you, David. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, David.
We really appreciate it.
Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
That's all. Just be honest.
Yeah.
We're okay with that. We know who we are.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
We're talking about the bottom of the standings.
And also, the thing that Leafs fans, angry Leafs fans, I don't want to categorize them all when David is here being so great in the chat. But the angry Leafs fans online, because we literally rebranded the opening night bingo card and just put Toronto's coming to town bingo card, and people were very upset. It's oh, how are you anticipating all these things? Their franchise is a joke, blah 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 blah. This is a game, and we like to watch the Coyotes play. There's people who are Coyotes fans, they're hockey fans. Yeah. The fans here have no say in who the ownership is, all the issues off the ice, what the temporary locker, the fans, that's not an issue for them. If you want to talk shit about the Coyotes being bad on the ice, go for it.
Yeah.
If you want to talk shit about that, go for it. But don't talk shit about anything outside of the fans' control. And you know what, Toronto? You can't talk shit about anything on the ice because the Coyotes keep beating your team. So stop it.
I do have a lot of respect for Josh, though, I will say, because it's got to be nice to be that stupid and and be happy still, right? You're gonna sit here and be oh, the Coyotes, like you mentioned, the Coyotes have won a first round more recently than Josh
2012,
has.
yeah.
So I mean, and also, when was the last time you witnessed the Coyotes lose to the Maple Leafs? That's all we care about. We don't care about the rest of you. We don't care about your record. You're in the Eastern Conference. You don't affect us.
We know exactly who we are.
We do.
We're not sitting here saying we're on the path to the Stanley Cup. We're not talking about playoff. No.
So when you're shitting on the bingo card, all I have to say is, sure, we're just trying to make this a little bit more fun for ourselves.
We try to have more fun.
And that's why we're having fun tonight. You know why? Because this team has been bad this year. They've been bad last year, although they've been a lot better this year. There's been a lot of great stuff this year.
It has been.
They're in 27th. They are. So
Yeah. There we go.
I'm going to take a sip of my beer.
Clearing. I'm with you.
By the way, Sean, while you're on the mic, let's show off the shirt that you're wearing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Shout out to the Coyotes PR for this. The Scherzies.
The Scherzies,
Unreal.
money.
I know
Yeah.
we said on Twitter that we were going to wear them.
I don't know if you could see the back at all.
Yeah, we can.
It says 98, and we asked about 98. Why don't you explain?
Well, because
we were confused.
The original retro jerseys, the original greens, were in the 97-98 season. Because these are reverse retro jerseys, they have the number 98 because they are the reverse retro.
Okay, sorry. Josh said you would lose to a janitor. No, Josh. You lost
to the Zamboni driver.
Yeah.
To
If we
the
would lose
Zamboni
if we would
driver.
lose to a janitor, who would you lose to?
I lost the Zamboni driver. Wasn't that goal?
Wait, and scroll down
Carolina?
slightly, Sean. You and your 10 fans. Well, I would say that the 87 people here live right now beg to differ, plus the thousands and thousands of Coyotes fans.
You know what
who
else
are
we
out
didn't
there.
talk about? Because this show's about me. We didn't talk about my keys.
We didn't. I'm
They
sorry.
got some of them.
Yeah, let's go over Petey's keys way later in the show than usual.
And usually, Schmaltzy didn't, and that's why I said somebody else had to do the job, and that's where McBain stepped in. No turnovers. You know what they did? Even when they turned over the puck to this team, who's incredibly dangerous off the rush, plays like JJ Mosier, that 2-on-1 with Matthews, breaks it up with a stick play, a phenomenal play. So they were able to recover even when they did make mistakes. Penalties, we saw that 2 penalties, 2 goals against. So that's it. I just wanted to get my thing, and I put all that work in during the day.
You did put in the work.
Thanks.
You
Sorry.
did put in the work. Josh is flexing the Leafs getting a fine somehow, is turning that into a flex. Anyway, enough about Josh. Enough about Josh.
Clearing.
We've cleared that. We drank
Clearing.
our Four Peaks beer.
Yes, a clearing.
Let's look at the punch card, because there might be a chance this is the most wins on a line.
Is this consecutive wins?
This is the most wins on a line. No, wait.
no.
The second line.
Is 4. We're on 3.
How many times
4.
did they win 3 straight games last year? Yeah, there was 4 in the second line and 4 in the
But no 3 in a row.
But
So it's
no
No,
three
there was
in a
3
row.
in a row in the second line.
Jeez,
Oh.
I can't
Okay,
say
so
that far.
every
But
other
that's what I was
line.
saying.
Every other line.
How long did it take them last year to win 3 straight games?
Did they win
It was
3 straight
it was in that
games?
Eastern trip towards
Yeah.
in
That
February.
was around when
That was in
Schmaltz
March.
had 7
March.
points, right?
Yeah.
Around that
That was
time.
in March. It's December. Wow. It's still 2022.
I tell you what, they're almost. Remember, DraftKings Sportsbook app had them at 65 points for the season, and
And we
I
were
said
like,
no
oh,
way.
under.
Take the under.
Yeah.
I said this was going to be a worse team than last year. I did. I'll admit it. I might be wrong. I know I'm wrong a lot. I'm
No,
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, PD, we're rocking some sweet.
Yeah, we both got our PHNX. I
Sweet
like
merch.
that.
Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, I got my new PHNX hoodies in, and I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. It's so comfy. I love it. This week I've matched someone else in the office because we're all wearing our hoodies. Espo was wearing this today. I also got the Phoenix tie-dye hoodie. You know, you're always in your a PHNX shirt every single day.
Yep.
So if you want to grab yourself one of these hoodies, do so at the phnxlocker.com. And while you're there, become a diehard so you can get 20% off on all this merch, as well as the diehard only merchandise that PD's going to bring his zip up on Saturday. So you all can see it and really realize what you're missing by not becoming a diehard. So you
Chris
can
was rocking hers the
that.
other day too on Twitter. I don't know
The
if you
zip
saw
up?
that. Yep.
I just
Love
want to
it.
say I put a poll in the chat for the people on how we should deal with Josh.
Yeah.
Let them decide Josh's fate.
Okay, yeah, we'll let Sean handle that one and the chat. But definitely become a diehard. Like Craig mentioned, he has a story coming next week on Nick Bjugstad. That will be for diehards only. Craig's mailbag is also for diehards only. And if you're a diehard, you can choose like which content you want to get right to your email. So if you're only a Coyotes fan, you can only get Coyote stuff. If you're a Coyotes and a D-backs fan, you can make sure you get both. By the way, lots of ties to Toronto this week with a big D-backs trade between the D-backs and the Blue Jays. So shout out the city of Toronto on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel this week. But 20% off merch, 20% off events like the PHNX Tea Party. Become a diehard today. Check out gophnx.com/diehard to join the family. And right now we're still in the middle of that weird week between Christmas and New Year's where nobody ever knows what to do with themselves. Like people aren't really working. People aren't really at school. So if you're kind of on day 4 here thinking, all right, like I need to do something. I have an idea. Go to Octane Raceway and Mavericks.
Oh, yeah. Because you're not back at work yet.
You need an activity for yourself. Yeah. Like this place is so freaking fun. Not only do they have a ton of stuff to do because they got racing, laser tag, bowling lanes, an arcade, axe throwing. They got bars. They got food. It is so much fun.
And lots of bars.
Lots of bars. Lots of bars among the two places. We've been out there to both places. They're side by side for our staff meetings and have had an absolute blast. So
you won the bowling.
I did win bowling. I did not get in a go-kart.
I know, but I
some go-kart.
I placed in the go-kart. Way faster than you should be allowed to go in a go-kart. Just saying that at my age. They were too fast.
Yeah, but it's just an unbelievable place. Octane's actually the only full-time indoor-outdoor racetrack in the United States.
Is that true? Yeah,
you know why? Because the weather's great here all year round, Austin.
We had winter last week. We had it. It was 2 days. It's over.
It rained yesterday.
That was it. Winter's over. Just in case you're keeping track of the weather. But
lots of great daily specials at Octane Raceway and Mavericks. So check them out. And tomorrow's Friday. So Friday trivia night, rotating drink specials, 8 to 10. And then Saturday, Sunday, 50% off signature bowling before noon. And this bowling, like you go up to the thing and you take a picture of your face. And then like you can just do fun stuff to it. And then like every time it's your turn to bowl, like your face is on the, it's just so fun. Just go. I promise you.
Just go. Bring the whole family. Take the kids.
A great time. What did the poll decide?
This has been a barn burner, as it was for a long time that we should ban Josh, but right now it's 51%. As the chat saying, the salt from his tears is quite tasty. So as of right now, it's 51% no. So welcome to the
Coyotes
party,
fans. I love you guys so much.
But we understand.
What a freaking fan base! Like what a group of people.
We understand. Coyotes fans, they get it.
Coyotes fans just.
We're not about the hate. We're about the hockey.
Exactly.
That should be a T-shirt.
Wow. I was about to say that sounds like an NHL like public service.
That should be our T-shirt. We're not about the hate. We're about the hockey. PHNX. There you go.
Haters, of which there are many.
Yeah. I'm speechless.
That was really good.
Yep. This is an unbelievable community. We appreciate. Wow, what a group of people.
No, you know what it is, and we'll say this. It is a community, and it started off with a really, 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 really small one. But when you go to a game like tonight and you see people, hey, I know him, I know her, we see them at every game, or it is a community now. And if you want to get in and talk, get on the Discord, or, when this team finally wins, there's going to be a lot of OGs that were here at the beginning.
And the people who are here now when it's hard, when it's the small temporary space for a few years, when the team is in 31st place, these people, when they're in the TED, and they're competitive, and Cooley's here, and Gunther's here, and hopefully Bedard Fantilli's here, and Geeky's here, and the Coyotes have their unbelievable goalie, because goalies thrive here.
Yep.
It's going to be that much more.
And you're going to be an
special.
OG diehard.
And you're going to be an OG diehard.
I'm having a great, and we said how much we love to do this. So anyway, we're not going to hate anymore. We're happy. We won.
Petey. Final thoughts from you.
No, it's the same thing from this team. They just don't quit. And after a first period where they're outshot 13-2, and you go, oh my God, they've got no chance. Toronto Maple Leafs are going to roll. They just keep coming at you, and they keep believing, and they keep thinking they can come back and win. They don't quit. They're fun to watch. We're on the bandwagon for now. And you know what? If they lose 3 straight, that's okay. We're still going to be here rooting for them because we know they're not going to quit, so we're not either. So good. And by the way, they beat Toronto again.
All right.
So the season's a win.
Here are my final thoughts on their statistics. The Coyotes have beaten Toronto 4 straight times, are 6-1-1 in the last 8 meetings with the Leafs, are 18-4-2 versus Toronto in the last 24 games dating back to January 14th, 2006. The Coyotes are 59-37-8-2 all time against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's all. That's just facts. Let's just end it on facts.
Facts. Agreed.
Let's just end it on facts. This one was a blast tonight. Coyotes beat the Leafs yet again. To the chat, everybody here watching us live, everyone here watching us later or listening later, we appreciate you so much. If you liked this, please go on and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Apparently the chat has spoken, so we'll let Sean.
Nah, it's tied, but I'm a Kamala Harris this motherfucker. See ya.
All right. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review, like and subscribe. Subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube. Tons of great content for all the sports across the valley. And we'll be back Saturday for our last postgame show, our last show of 2022.
In the year that they beat the Leafs four times.
Just saying. So good year to leave behind. Lots of changes for the Coyotes in 2022. Some easier than others, but I'm sure we'll reflect on all of that on Saturday. But to those of you who are here tonight, whether this is your first time, whether this is your 200th time, we sincerely appreciate you. And you can follow all of us on Twitter at @SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Sean_DePaz, and of course follow at PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter as well. Everybody, have a great rest of your night. Say something nice to a Leafs fan online. They need it tonight. Clearly, they're very upset. And we'll see everybody on Saturday. See ya.